Hello, YouTube. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to another episode. I am Nina, and we're talking about dating tips, dating as a feminine woman, how to get the type of dating experience that you desire. So, the previous video we spoke about what to wear in terms of dresses if you're looking to attract love, you're looking to attract men, you're looking to attract their interest. And today we're going to talk about makeup and hair while I do my hair, while I get ready for a date. And we're going to do a date review. I'll tell you guys how my date went last night. So let's first jump into hair and makeup. So one thing that I learned during the whole lockdown is how to do my makeup. So I had an idea of how to do my makeup before, but I had never really spent time and effort really perfecting it. So because all we had was time during the first hard lockdown, I decided to actually do that, to actually focus on doing my my makeup, learn what looked good on me, and learned how to basically master that skill. So, one of the things that I learned with makeup is there's a difference between day makeup and night makeup. So, for me, it was just like when I started putting on makeup, I learned how to do different looks and I would wear them whenever. So I would have really nighttime looking type of looks during the day as well, if that's what I felt like putting on, because I wasn't yet aware of like the fact that some makeup looks better and is more appropriate at night than it is during the day. So that's probably the first tip that I would share is learn the difference between day makeup and night makeup because these two things are not the same. So let's talk day makeup. So most of the time during the day, if you're out and about, you're probably going to be like at work. Maybe you have like a lunch date. Maybe you're just running errands or whatever. That type of makeup look is going to be very different from, if you're going to dinner at a restaurant or whatever. So if you want to go for the more natural kind of look during the day, I would advise you to play with that. Play with play with like nudes, oranges, browns, golds, really muted golds. So go in that general direction if you experiment with daytime makeup. And then in the evening, you're probably going to do a similar look, but that's going to probably be more glam and you can play with more colors, like incorporate some pinks or some green or some blue, depending on your skin tone, on your outfit, on the type of event that you're going to. But even if you're still keeping it nude and simple, you'll probably just glam it up with more gold and maybe a red lip or something like that. So this is a very subtle difference, but it's really the difference between a woman who is polished and a woman who is doing this for the first time. So you always want to look appropriate. You always want to look classy. You always want to look like you know what's going on. So most classy women won't wear a face full of makeup during the day. Keep it very minimalistic, very neutral, almost like the look that I have today. So you want to experiment with that because once you master that look, then it's very easy for you to go into various spaces and get the type of treatment and respect and admiration that you would want as a woman. So play with your makeup, take time. My best advice is do your makeup when you're at home and you don't have to go anywhere. Play with your makeup then, because if you get it wrong, that's okay. Nobody, is going to crucify you. And if you get it right, then you basically have that as a go-to next time you need to go out. So do that regularly. If you're doing it every day, if you're doing it every other day, if you're doing it every weekend, whatever works with your schedule, but just put time aside to actually practice your makeup. It makes a huge difference. So before we move on to hair, let me just give you a quick funny story about makeup. So years ago, many years ago, I read an article that basically suggested that men cannot tell the difference between a woman who's wearing, between a woman who's wearing makeup and a woman who's not. So, in other words, if you're wearing makeup, men are not going to pick it up as quickly as women would, right? Okay. So, I thought this can't be right. I'm going to find this out for myself. So, I started asking guy friends, cousins, relatives, all of that, like flipping through magazines or watching TV or whatever. And I just asked very innocently, like, do you think she's wearing makeup? And 9 times out of 10, they guessed no. This girl has got gold, she's got blue, she's got all sorts of colors going on her face. And these are intelligent, educated people that we're talking about. We're not talking about like random people. But 9 times out of 10, men what you actually look like and the fact that you're wearing makeup. What does this mean? This means that when you are wearing makeup and he sees you, he just assumes that that's what you look like. He just assumes that you're beautiful. If you're not wearing makeup and you're looking very plain Jane, he just assumes that that's just what you look like. He doesn't assume that you need or you would look any different with makeup on, right? So when you know this, then you understand firstly the power of makeup, that makeup can make you look like something that we all know when we wake up, we don't look like this. Okay, I know I don't look like this when I wake up. This takes a little bit of time and energy. But when somebody looks at me, when a man looks at me, he doesn't see all the time and energy that I've put in. He just sees a beautiful woman and he assumes that's how I naturally look, right? So, ladies, when you're not putting on makeup and you're not learning how to put on makeup that suits you, that suits your face, your skin, your environment, when you're not doing that, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, because you could be making such a good impression on this man and you're not. And you're not. Okay, so this also happened on my date yesterday, where the guy literally asked me if I was wearing makeup, and I'm sitting there with gold all over my eyes, and I'm like, okay, they cannot detect it, they cannot pick it up. They just assume that's how you look, and that's not a bad thing. Right, let's move on to hair. So hair for me was a little bit tricky, just because it entailed what it required much more effort to figure it out, right? So it wasn't just about seeing hair that I liked. I had to figure out what color looked good on my skin based on my skin tone and my undertone. I had to figure out what length looked good based on my face shape. I had to figure out how to style my hair in a way that made it look good, because you could have looks good, but if you don't style it well, it still looks shady, right? So hair for me was probably the biggest stumbling block, just because it required so much more energy. But one thing about hair is that when you have that on your side, it is very easy to look absolutely elevated. It is so easy to look polished. It's so easy to look ladylike. It's so easy to attract the right attention. So ladies, invest in your hair. There's a woman that I know who would just shrug off and almost insult, the concept of buying hair and investing in hair and spending proper money on having like proper hair. But as time went by, she kind of realized what a difference, hair made. And it became something that she also started investing in. So invest in your hair, ladies, because it just it just takes your look and your whole vibe to another level. So if you're looking to feel more feminine or come across as more feminine, there are a few tips that I can share from what I have learned in my personal life. And um, yeah, so number one, long hair will trump short hair any day, every day, right? Now, obviously, um, this is mostly for dating. This is mostly what I have seen from, like I said, personal experience, what I have seen that attracts men. Now, this doesn't mean that if you're walking around with short hair that men are not going to be attracted to you. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you are looking for the easiest, quickest way to attract men in terms of the hairstyle that you're putting on, long hair will trump short hair any day. Now, having said that, long hair has a limit. If your hair is so long that it's going down to your knees or it's going past your lower back, that is a bit too long. That does not attract men the way that, mid back or just below the shoulder hair does. So the hair that I have on right now is just below my shoulders. This is 14 inches, if I'm not mistaken, so it's not incredibly long, but it's long enough for me to, have long hair. It's not short. Now, what I love about long hair is that it'll go with probably every face shape, okay? Whether your face is shaped like a heart or an O, it'll go with probably every face shape, okay? Whether your face is shaped like a heart or an oval or it's round or it's square or it's long, whatever is, whatever face shape you have, long hair is your go-to. You can hardly go wrong with long hair. And what you want to do, especially if you have like maybe like a very sharp jaw or a square face or a rectangular face or a long face, which you probably will, or a round face, you're probably going to want to have layers around your face. Now, obviously, I'm not a hairstylist, so you will want to consult an actual hairstylist for this type of advice. But for me, you cannot go wrong with long hair. When you have short hair, you have to have a very specific face shape in order to get away with it and be feminine. A lot of the times, short hair doesn't suit many face shapes. And two, it's very difficult to come across as feminine when you have short hair. Halle Berry, Rihanna, they've been able to break that mold, absolutely. But you need to understand that their star power has a lot to do with that. And as an average woman, you and I will probably do best to follow the guidelines that work for most people. So invest in a nice long hair piece. If it's a wig, if it's a weave, if it's your own hair, it actually doesn't matter. Learn how to style your hair. Learn how to style it straight. Learn how to curl it. Whatever it is that you feel is going to be more flattering, learn how to do that. And that extra time that you invest in your hair, in your makeup, will really take you from just, an average woman to a really classy, really glamorous, really attractive woman that men want to pursue. So that's what I wanted to share in terms of that. So don't be afraid, ladies, to experiment and see what it is that you can come up with. Experiment when you're at home so that you don't feel pressure to put yourself out there before you're comfortable. So before I go, let's chat quickly about my date last night. So last night I had my 5th date. I'm aiming for 100 dates. You guys know that already. And yesterday was date number 5. So this guy was really nice. I met him on this site that I'm on. He was really nice. Initially, when we started chatting, he really wanted to, talk about very deep, intimate stuff over the phone that I wasn't comfortable sharing. So I had to kind of deal with that situation. Somebody's asking stuff like, do you have children? Are you married? Have you ever been married? Da, da, da. Which for me, I found like a little bit too forward for somebody that, we hadn't met yet. And so I let him know, you can save all your interview questions for when we actually meet, since we have a date later this week. And so he agreed to that. And so we had our date last night. He picked me up. We went out. First tip I want to add, ladies, is if you're getting picked up by somebody that you don't know, make sure they wait outside your building, or if you're not even comfortable with that, meet them at a shopping center close by, or whatever the case might be. Number one. Number two, send the number plate to somebody that you trust, so that if anything happens, that is what is traced. Okay, just a safety tip. So that's what I did. Anyway, we got to the restaurant. He had made reservations. It was a very nice restaurant. We sat, we had champagne, we had oysters, we had dinner. It was really beautiful. We had dessert. It was really, really great. And he dropped me back home. Obviously, he tried to find an excuse to come to my apartment, and that was a big no-no. So we were able to diffuse that situation very quickly, and we bid each other good night, and that was that. So I had a really great time yesterday. What I found interesting about our date is how he opened up about how he got on the site in the first place. So a lot of people, especially very busy people, are actually starting to look at online dating as an option to meet women, just because, like he said, he does not have the time to actually go out and organically meet people. So it's better if he gets on a site where everybody's kind of looking for the same thing, and he starts chatting to try and figure out who's who and whatever. So I found that very interesting, just because I feel like, with all the changes that are happening in the world, a lot of dating is going to start, or, come from online interactions, whether it's online dating sites or social media or whatever the case might be. So that was very interesting. And he spoke a lot about masculinity and femininity, and how he really admired and appreciated my femininity, and how it made him feel super masculine. So I think we're going to get into a topic specifically on that, how femininity inspires masculinity. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. But yeah, the conversation was very, very interesting. The only thing is that afterwards, as he was dropping me off, he started talking about, our next date, and how he would like that to be at his house and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, that's always a red flag when a stranger invites a stranger over to their house. That's a little bit of a red flag. We've met once, we've had one date. That's basically it. And the next thing that you're thinking about is having me over at your place. Like, no. So for me, that was like, I don't like that. But overall, I understand men will always try their luck, which is how they get very far in life anyway. So that's okay. But it's just one of those things that guys will bring it up one way or another. And it's up to you to just say no and decline and mean it, but you don't have to be offended, get aggressive, or anything like that, just because that's how they are. That's just their nature. They don't necessarily mean any harm by it, if you understand what I mean. So that was my date yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to see him again based on what he's planning for a second date. If he comes up with something better, maybe. But yeah. So let me know how your dating experience is going. What are you having trouble with? Remember, I do one-on-one coaching sessions as well. So if you want us to hop on a Zoom call and tackle any dating issues that you might have, DM me, and I will definitely set that up with you. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do the right thing, and I will see you, beautiful ladies, in our next video. Bye.